Hello everyone, Hiawatha Productions here. Welcome back to another video. And as you can see, this one is a bit different in comparison to other videos. Just bear with me one moment while I adjust a couple of things. Gonna turn that down a little bit. Save. Alright. Hopefully that's a little bit better for you guys. So, yes, we are playing Train Simulator. I have played this game on occasion before. I just recently got back into it, and then I thought, hey, why don't I record a little gaming session? You know, just because. So, I've tried this a couple times already, and I couldn't get the aspect ratio right on my computer, but I finally figured it out. So, we're going to look through the selection of locomotives that I have, probably even some of my custom consists, and we're just going to go for a little drive, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it. It's something different. Let's see. I drove the LNYR Class 5 by Caledonia Works earlier, so I'm not too sure if I want to do that one again just yet. I might, but kind of want to look at what I have at the moment and then pick something amongst it. I could do the Fowler 4P. That one's another one that I really like. Or I could do the K1, possibly, or even the Pickersgill 191. I think I know which one I'm going to go for. I would like to do Riviera line in the 50s. So to start out with, I think I'm going to backtrack a little bit. And we are going to pick the 4700 class Night Owl. As for which one we're going to go for, we're going to scroll down a little bit. We are going to pick the... We'll do a BR livery since it is the 50s after all. Brunswick weathered. Let's do BR lined black with GWR wagon pack 1. And we will shorten our destination a little bit. We will start at Exeter St. David's and end our journey at Starcross. This engine cannot quite go... It can go almost as fast as the Class 5, but still trying to figure out how to drive the thing properly. So, yeah, like I said, we're just going to go for a little drive, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it. It's something different. Just bear with me a little bit. The game's going to be a little bit laggy starting out, since it's not quite used to running Train Sim and a recording application at the same time, and there's a lot of pixels on these models, but as you can see, now it's doing fine. We're going to go ahead and pull up the HUD right here. Definitely looks a lot cleaner now that I fixed the aspect ratios and whatnot on my computer. Alright, let's have a look in the cab first. Here's a little lamp. I'll go ahead and turn that on. Usually I have them on just because it's nice to have a little extra light in the cab without having to open the firebox door. Up here we have a little sign. If I move back over here, I might be able to read it a little bit better. It says, "Caution, do not look over or pass along the side of this cab when near bridges, tunnels, load gauges, or coal stages." Posted January 1909. So this is the 50s, and that sign has been in there throughout all of that. That's the GWR for you, I guess. Real quick, I'm going to set auto fireman to on. Bear in mind, this engine does not come with a auto fireman when you first install it, if I remember correctly. That is something that you will have to install yourself on Golden Age Development's website. If I remember, I will go ahead and post links to Caledonia Works' website and Golden Age Development's website in the description, so you can find these packs for yourselves. turn back over here, this is something that I really like about Caledonia Works' stuff. Hang on. What am I doing? I guess I can show you around all the different views that you can do on this engine. Dead-on shot there, I like that. Yeah, I'm kind of just goofing around here at this point. Zoom in over here. Up here we have a pipe. We have a rule book as per 1950. I think that's the Bible. I could be wrong. And then right there looks to be... oh, what does it say? There we are. Box of biscuits. Bar & Co.'s biscuits. I love the little details in what... I love all the little details like that they put on their engines. Definitely a very, very nice touch. We will be setting off in just a moment. I just need to look up the appropriate head code real quick. I am not very knowledgeable. I have not had all the head codes memorized as of yet, so bear with me. BR head code 1950s. Now, I don't know how accurate this is going to be, but I believe I have found it. So, we are on a freight train, so we'll have this listed as a through freight, which is this head code right here, which is pretty accurate. We can't do express freight because this is not fitted stock. I don't think any of the stock here is fitted, minus probably like 3 wagons, so it wouldn't count as any of the other freight head codes that you might be able to use. So we're going to go ahead and set the reverser up, open the cylinder drain cocks, release the brakes. We'll have to go in the cab real quick and open the ejector. And then once the brake pressure hits 25 inches, sorry for the noise, once the brake pressure hits 25 inches, we will be good to go. Alright, back in the cab, close that, and we're good to go. Set the throttle up. I absolutely love the Night Owls. I would love to have a model of this in 00 gauge, but the only one that is available ready to run is made by Elgin, and I'm sure plenty of you are already familiar with the quality of their models, not to mention the fact that it seems to be pretty hard to come by, and I do not fancy paying over $200 for a, shall we say, rather poorly constructed model, all things considered. But for now, the Caledonia Works Night Owl will be enough to satisfy me for the time being. And hey, if I really wanted to, I could always get a 3D printed one online and just get bashing. A little bit of a history on these things for those who don't know. The 4700 class Night Owl did not originally look like this. They were fitted with a different type of boiler. I don't remember what type specifically, but it was not very successful on the engines. It had very inadequate steaming capabilities for what the Great Western was after. So they fitted it with this one. Again, I'm very unfamiliar with all the different types and whatnot. If you would like to learn more about this engine, then go ahead and do your own research. Do not take what I say as gospel. I am not an expert. I am an amateur train enthusiast. But continuing on, they were built in the early 1920s. I believe they were built in 1922, perchance, or right before the grouping. So this was built during the very pre-grouping Great Western. and then the rest were built whenever the GWR was formed. 9 were built in total, numbers 4700 through 4708. They were power class 7F under British Railways, and they had a very limited route availability on the GWR due to their size. I mean, look at this thing, he's massive. And their main job was to run goods services in the dead of night, hence why they're called night owls, because they would only run during the evening. Then again, I don't think it was uncommon to see them running daytime services. That was just one of their more common jobs throughout their service lives with the GWR and then later British Railways. I believe withdrawal of the class started in the late 50s and ended in the early 60s. None of which were preserved, unsurprisingly. Very small number of engines in this class. I mean, only 9 were built with good reason. They were powerful, they were pretty good engines, but they were just too heavy. Not to mention the fact that they also had the likes of the 4200s, the 5205s, 5275s, 2800, 2884s, and whatnot on their rosters. Also, the Western region had no shortage of extremely powerful goods engines with a wider availability in comparison to these big lads. But with all that being said, I really like them. Definitely a favorite of mine amongst the Western region's steam power. Rather fortunately for us rail enthusiasts, a new one of these is currently being built with parts from, I believe, 4 different Great Western engines. I don't remember when exactly its its construction will be complete, but I'm definitely really looking forward to it because the idea of having one of these things, you know, be brought back to life, not even just brought back to life, but mainline certified, that would honestly be a absolutely wonderful treat for all of us rail enthusiasts out there. That would be super nice. Bear with me, everyone. I will go ahead and put the HUD back as soon as I'm able to figure out how to stop losing boiler pressure. There we go. Pressure's climbing again. My guess that it was only dropping because the water injector was on. Right now we're just cruising. My main concern is just losing too much boiler pressure and too much speed. I would like to not have this journey be done at a snail's pace. If enough people actually watch this video and one of them happens to actually know what they're doing with this engine, then good for you. Please leave some tips in the comment section. I have no idea how to drive this thing. It's fun though, all the same. I like these more advanced engines that Caledonia Works makes. I think my favorite engine by them at the moment is probably the Pickersgill 191. Definitely a simpler engine to drive though in comparison to the rest of their roster. Closely followed behind, that's the Class 5. They have some excellent detail on that thing. It's not too hard to drive, but it's still very realistic. Then you have the Fowler 4P, then the A4, and then the Great Northern C1. I will probably be picking up another engine from them in the future during their summer sale, but if not, I will definitely be waiting for the release of their Great Northern A1. That is definitely on my wish list from them. I'm very much looking forward to that engine. let's hear some of the other whistles, shall we? So, that was the main whistle that you hear. You just press down spacebar. You do control space. You can hear some other different whistle sounds that have been pre-programmed into the game. Those sound really nice. Now if you press B, you can hit the secondary whistle, because every single Great Western engine has two whistles. There's a main whistle for following whistle boards and whistle codes and whatnot when setting off. The secondary one, which sounds like this on the Night Owl, that is a lower toned whistle, and that is specifically the brake whistle. So the guard in the brake fan will hear that whistle and know that he needs to apply the brakes in the brake fan to help stop the train. Definitely helped with efficiency, and also save the crews having to memorize a different whistle code. They just listen to a different type of whistle. As you can hear with the normal one, it's a higher pitched tone when compared to this. Other engines from other regions had the same thing. The Class 5 that I mentioned earlier also has two whistles, and I believe it was for the same reason. And since they're both activated by different keys, you can do this. You can play both whistles at the same time, which is so nice. It adds a nice level of realism to the game, having them be individually controlled like that. In real life, I do not think they would have found a need to use both whistles at once unless they were just whistling to rail enthusiasts. But it's all in good fun. I like this. This is really nice. Got a pretty good speed going on up here. Here's the pannier. As you can see, looking at those coaches, I don't know how well notice them, but they have slightly different textures in comparison to the ones on the default route for Riviera line in the 50s. Oops. Yeah, you can see them right there. Specifically, the blood and custard ones have a lot more rich color on them. The red's a lot more vibrant. Same with the custard. Not super dull like it is in the original pack. That is because I got the enhancement pack that was done by Golden Age Developments. I don't remember who specifically is responsible for that, but that definitely helped to liven things up around here when looking at some of the AI programmed trains here on the route. And as you can also see, minus this little section here, I went ahead and put down the track upgrades and also the high tide upgrades as well that were also done by Golden Age Developments. And now that I've said all that, I will definitely put a link to their website in the description of this video, and I will do the same for Caledonia Works to show them some love and appreciation, and hopefully to encourage those of you who are into Train Simulator to pick up some of their models if you haven't already. The wagon pack being pulled by the 4700 is a separate purchase, also by Caledonia Works. If we go... let's see, which one was it? Oops, that one. Okay, back. There we go. If we go down over this way, I believe it's... there we go. You can look at all these wagons. All of these are Great Western wagons. There's their tank wagons, bolster, covered 5-plank. This is their Mika B van, 2 gunpowder vans, a Lomac, another tanker. That one's the Royal Daylight one. Another Conflat. Here's a... yeah, those are Conflats, not Lomacs. This is a Lomac. Another bolster, some plank wagons, more gunpowder vans, 3 cattle vans, and another brake van up here at the front in a different livery. Next station's going to be coming up in just a little bit. as soon as we get to the station, I believe that will be the end of this video. So let's just sit in silence for a little bit while I go ahead and drive the engine. Alright, and with that, I believe we have reached the end of our little scenario. Any second now the little window should pop up, I believe. There we go. That was definitely a nice change. I will hopefully be doing more of this in the future because I actually really enjoyed that, and I certainly hope that you all did too. Thank you very much to those of you who watched once again. Links to Caledonia Works and Golden Age Development's websites will be put in the description of this video. And yeah, I will see you guys on the next one. This is Hiawatha Productions signing off.